Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have any questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached.
Around?
That is one of the ways. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those of you that need instant gratification in this millennial-based world. And of course, the show's Twitter feed is at Skimpod. That's SKIMPOD. For the more patient amongst you, which is none of us, let's be honest, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again, being spelled with a K. We're also available via Apple Podcast, something I've never heard of, Stitcher Radio. Are any of you still using that shit? TuneIn Radio, whatever the fuck that is, I couldn't tell you. Google Play, I've heard of that. I don't use it, but if you do, thank you. Spotify, now that one I use, so find us on there. I know we're on there. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Now I ask that you please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show, because honestly, I don't do that shit. And I need someone to pick up my slack. Now, I hear that there is a group of people here that collectively discuss music, and they provide for you, yes you, a pod called Cast. It's a musical discussion show built on a hip-hop foundation, which seems to be what makes the musical world turn these days, and I hear it's pretty swell. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, The Real ODP, and your host, Internet's Tasty Tayrel713.
The harsh realities of life have taken their toll. Even Jesus Christ forsake my soul. Please tell me what price to pay to make it whole. Take control. I'm making dough, but not enough to blow. J.O.'s, they lust my flows, but hey, yo, I don't trust a soul. That's all I know or need to. These evil streets will meet you halfway and try to halfway and eat you alive. Try to survive, illegal. I'll leave you lost. Mount you on a cross, whip you like a horse, sacrifice your life to a higher force. Then I'll stomp your corpse. It's the Bronx, of course. Recognize the accent. One of the last living still in action, General Assassins. Catching any wreck, blasting any text, smashing any chest, passing any test, Charles Manson any flesh. Any last request before you meet your maker? So what you reap or wake up, shaking up a storm like Anita Baker. I'll take you straight to hell and fill your heart with hate, incarcerate your fate in Satan's fiery lake, and then I lock the gate. Make no mistake, this shit is real as Joe. We following the killer's code, and when we come for you, tell me where will you go? You ain't a killer. You're still learning how to walk. From New York to Cali, only real niggas carry chalk. Mark you for death, don't even talk that East and West clap. From Watts to Left Rack, it ain't where you from. It's where's you get. Hello, welcome to it. Stays Crunchy Milk episode 385. And we'd like to become the patriarch of Alexandria. But I don't think that's going to happen this go around. I am the Internet Tayrel713, and I am joined by Tatum216.
Hello.
And the homeboy Lunchbox2099.
I'm patiently waiting for that Only Yams IPO to drop.
Only yams. What would be involved? This is a
just yams.
Potato cooking site?
Oh no, you're thinking about the wrong yams.
What if it could be, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of both. Chicks are fine
I don't discriminate amongst yams.
Delicious. Purple.
Yams on yams, man.
Racks them up. We are missing the real ODP this week. He got some family biz to handle, so give it up to him and shout out to my mans. But we rolling. And two of the stories this week Ant gave me. One of the stories this week I know Box I guarantee you Box is hip to already. So I'm gonna put it on him a little bit too, even though he didn't expect to give me a story. I bet you he's aware of the story and will have something to say about it.
My fingers crossed it's about Ted Cruz.
God no. Not this week. And you know how we do, we'll talk some shit, we'll get into some amateur asshole, and we'll head on out the door, people. That's how we roll. So first up, Ohio authorities seize 44 pounds of cornflakes covered in cocaine. Also, that quickly becomes the show title, Cocaine Cornflakes. I mean, it just wrote itself.
That sounds like a great way to wake up in the morning.
That'd be 2 cocaine. Well, no. Well, the other title was what was it? Snort a Quiznos. So I think we're okay with that. This is from the Good People at Complex. Terrace Madavan is who gave us the write up. Drug traffickers are coming up with even more inventive ways to ship cocaine. According to a press release from U.S. Border Patrol, the agency seized a shipment of cereal arriving from South America that contained 44 pounds of cocaine, disguising it with cornflakes that were covered in the substance instead of sugar. The amount of drugs in the shipment could have a street value of up to $2.8 million. Per CNN, the incoming freight from Peru arrived in Cincinnati, Ohio, and was held at a private residence and was headed, to a private residence in Hong Kong. A CPD narcotic detector dog named Biko initially signaled the cereal shipment to the officer. And when the officers took a closer look, they saw the cornflakes contained white powder and were coated with a grayish substance.
Wait, did you say that this came from South America to Cincinnati and it was heading to Hong Kong?
Correct.
This is like when you order a package and it like comes to your city and then somehow moves away and then comes back and then moves away again.
I don't know if y'all can see it over my shoulder. There's a frame on that table right there. That frame was in Lansing, Michigan. It went all the way to Memphis, Tennessee, to FedEx headquarters, to come back to Ohio, to come back to up north, to come to my house. And I'm just like, what is y'all doing?
Maybe that's why they did it like this, because like if it went directly to where it was supposed to go, that would stand out too much. You got to move around the map in like unrecognizable, unexplainable ways to try and get the feds off your scent.
I can't call it, man. The cereal ultimately tested positive for cocaine, a Schedule II substance under the Controlled Substances Act. The men and women at the port of Cincinnati are committed to stopping the flow of dangerous drugs, and they continue to use their training, intuition, and strategic skills to prevent these kinds of illegitimate shipments from reaching the public, Cincinnati Port Director Richard Gillespie said. On an average day in 2020, CPB discovered 3,677 pounds of drugs at ports of entry around the U.S. back in August. How's that on an average day in 20? Okay, I guess the average day they speak of is back in August. Back in August, CPB agents came upon a cocaine shipment that washed ashore on a Florida beach and contained at least $1 million worth of the drug. I wonder who prices cocaine. Like, they always be giving you these numbers like 44 pounds of coke in its cereal form is worth $2.8 million.
There's probably like a eBay for drugs, you know? You can go look up like last sold.
Man, that poor guy in Hong Kong really just wanted something new, you know what I'm saying? We got these breakfast flakes, baby. And alas, he won't have them. Thank you for that story, Ant, because that made me go, wow. Plus, you know what I'm saying, once again, Ohio, you know how we do.
It's always in Ohio. It's always an Ohio connection.
Speaking of Ohio, Fox Sports 1 Colin Cowherd insults Baker Mayfield again, swears he's not just trolling Browns fans. This is by Joe Morona over at Cleveland.com. Cleveland, Ohio. Oops, Colin Cowherd did it again. Oh my God, bro, that's too old. That's too old a joke to be using in this day and age. The Fox Sports 1 host of The Herd with Colin Cowherd has a long documented history of criticizing Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield, a fact that was brought to our attention by Box a couple of weeks back. On Tuesday's show, he took it to another level by playing a game of Mayfield or the Field. Co-host Joey Taylor named various quarterbacks around the NFL and asked Cowherd if he would take them or Mayfield over the next 5 years. Predictably, Cowherd chose the other guy over Mayfield almost every time, including new Colts quarterback Carson Wentz, the Vikings' Kirk Cousins, and 35-year-old Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan, in his mind, the only quarterback with less upside than Mayfield, who led the Browns to their first playoff win in 26 years, and the Lions' Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins, the Bears' Mitch Trubisky, and Steelers' old man Ben Roethlisberger. Cowherd even chose Tom Brady, who, yes, just won the Super Bowl, but will be nearing 50 in 5 years. Cowherd naturally received some blowback from Browns fans who accused him of trolling them. Nonsense, he said. There's no money in it for me to get Cleveland riled up. You're not a big enough city. You don't matter enough, he said. Like it would be one thing if I was riling up New York or Chicago or Dallas or LA or Atlanta or Philadelphia. Cleveland is Cleveland even as big as Columbus, Ohio? I don't think it is. Sorry, but we're not buying it. Coward is right in that Columbus metro area is indeed larger than Cleveland. However, Northeast Ohio ranks ahead of Columbus in terms of TV market size. Number 19 versus number 34. Also, the Browns have one of the most dedicated and geographically spread out fan bases in the NFL. And the host on FS1 and ESPN spent a lot of time talking about the team. You can not like Baker Mayfield? Cool. Don't talk shit about my town, man. I don't cotton to it. I don't know who the fuck this dude think he is, but we just not the one. Cause motherfuckers will see you, and like this author, like the author of this article said, Cleveland Browns fans is all over the world. It's Browns backers everywhere, and you can get touched, Colin Coward. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't think you understand that, but bro.
Yeah, man. Hands are rated E for everyone.
Like I said, you can not like Baker for whatever reason. Maybe he fuck your girl. I don't know. Maybe your mom like him or some shit. Don't know, man. But like I said, don't talk shit about this city, bro. We truly aren't the one. And like I said, any motherfucker can get it, including you, the job, son. So this one, so I sent the initial story out, and then Ant followed up with this other part of the story, which just I don't even know what to do with this, man. It's so wild to me. Let me pull it up, double check the. I'm giving appropriate credit. Oh, see, the real ODP sent this. I'm sorry, I was about to just give his credit away. Lady Gaga's dog walker shot in L.A. 2 of her French bulldogs stolen. Lady Gaga's personal dog walker was shot multiple times, I didn't know that, in LA on Wednesday night, with 2 of the singer's French bulldogs stolen in the attack. TMZ reports that Gaga's dogs were targeted by multiple thieves, and law enforcement sources say Gaga is offering $500,000 for her pet's return. The Daily Mail says Ryan Fisher is the singer actress dog walker, and he was out with 3 of her pups in West Hollywood at around 10 p.m. When police arrived at the scene, Fisher was still conscious, although he has since been transported to hospital in grave condition, according to sources close to the situation. One of the 3 dogs, Fisher, was walking reportedly briefly escaped, but was recovered by authorities. The attack comes as Gaga has been in Rome, and sources say she is understandably very upset about the situation. Law enforcement is investigating the incident and looking into whether Gaga's dogs were a specific target or if the thieves had just been targeting French bulldogs. The 2 that were stolen are named Koji and Gustav, TMZ reports. And reports an email address, Koji and Gustav at gmail.com, has been set up in order for the $500,000 to be retrieved. Lady Gaga has yet to publicly comment on the incident, but she's always been quick to share her love of dogs on social media. Surveillance footage of the image has been released by TMZ. The neighbor only agreed to release the video after getting word from Gaga that she and her team wanted to be seen to catch the shooter and recover her dogs, Koji and Gustav, the outlet writes. Warning, the content below is graphically violent. Well, nigga, let's push play. You won't hear it, but I'd like to see what's going on with this big giant TMZ. I'm trying to see what happened. Niggas just rolled up on my man. Yo, can y'all see? Yeah. Bruh, I am
flabbergasted.
Can I send this video? I want to see if I can copy this. Oh, there's a link.
Where you sending it to?
Just put it in the chat. Bruh. Well, I am actually that was way more violent than I thought. They were not lying when they said this video was violent. Holy shit. Wow. I should not have watched that video. I don't watch most videos on the internet. I'm real good about avoiding that shit. I was just thinking, nah, there's no way. That was awful. And I only watched 50 seconds of a 2-minute and 22-second video.
He had the gun sideways.
I just I texted you the video of the other one that I was talking about that happened last month in California, where the woman got attacked for her puppy.
It was also a bulldog.
Oh yeah, French bulldog puppy stolen. Her eyes all jacked up and shit.
I can't tell if the gun is sideways, but it kind of looked like it is. So,
yeah, they got surveillance footage on this one too.
Where'd you send it to?
I texted it to you.
All right. Jesus Christ. So is French bulldogs the lick in LA at this point? No, this lady's at SF, so she's in a whole other part of the state.
Yeah, because I had seen this one a couple weeks ago. Like that's why, like when they were talking about the Gaga thing today, I was like, wait a minute, is this the same story? Because it was also California, it was also a bulldog. Yeah. There's just this is like bulldogs must be like the new human sex trafficking.
Well, only if it was in Ohio.
This lady got the crap beat out of her for a dog, yo. I mean, I get it because it's like people have a lower. Yo, this video looks so just like you just said, Box. It's like it's just like what I'm saying, surveillance footage. She running.
Yeah, then like three dudes just run up on her, jack, yeah. Dog grabs, off they go.
Guess I'm not getting a dog.
Well, I mean, just don't get a French bulldog apparently.
I want a terrier.
Man.
In the same family.
The article says French bulldogs cost thousands of dollars.
Sure, I guess. Or just, pull the heat out and walk away with a free one. So, but somebody posted somewhere on Twitter how I think it was my man, I can't think of my name. Remember my man from Better Off Ted, the black scientist?
Yeah, the Dave Chappelle dude.
Yeah, I think he posted up like how I would have handled them dog thieves, and basically it was a picture of your man from Ransom. The racist boy. I forgot his name.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, but the other one. He was racist before Liam Neeson, but still racist. Mel Gibson.
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Everybody who want their daughter back is racist, huh?
Oh my God.
Because Hulk Hogan want his daughter back. Liam Neeson, Mel Gibson. Nobody wants a pack of niggers around.
Well, you, the listener, don't know this. That was the end of the stories. I didn't have many this week, so we will be shifting along here. But we're trying a new service this week to see if we can help our general quality of production go up, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think it sounds like. Because I'm telling you right now, we're not recording a backup. We are jumping without a shoot this week to see if this works, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you know what?
There's also a strong possibility that we fuck this up completely and you don't hear shit.
I tried. I said a couple times, like, hey, you sure? Maybe we should just stop talking about this right now, because if it fuck up, then,
What am I to do if it fucks up?
What am I to do?
But, man, we as most of the time, we try to slide over to you. What's poppin' with you, man? What's going on with you in your world? What do you want to share with the listening audience this week?
Let me turn on my lights. So the other day, which this was funny to me, I was playing God of War. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, this game reminds me of The Last of Us. And then T was like, in my head, because this was a text, he was like, how so? And I'm like, and that was it was almost like he was disgusted. I was like,
my tone was actually, if you want to know what I was typing, was, ooh, how? Because I'm like, what is he seeing that I'm not seeing? Or what is he seeing that I missed? But
Because
hey,
I mean, I know, Gabe's not here this week, but this is, Gabe loves this game. He didn't reply though, but
so does
yeah,
he really love the game?
Yeah, I couldn't even say anything because I never played The Last of Us. I've only played God of War, so
well,
I
T's
didn't
played
I didn't have a comparison.
T's even played that shitty Atari ET game, so he knows he knows what I'm talking about.
He had to. There were achievements to unlock.
God no, man. But if
Didn't you get a copy? Did you get a copy of that? Do you have a copy of that game?
no, I just watched the documentary about it. I wasn't paying for no landfill copies of a video game. Game's terrible.
I think that's kind of a cool story, though. It
I don't
adds
know,
like a
man.
mystique to it, you know?
It adds a must of landfill is what it adds.
I'm just saying, like, you can't name another game where they unburied a pile of them in the landfill.
Oddly enough, yes, you can, because there was other games that was buried in that landfill along with ET. You may as well know it.
But then how come ET is the only one we talk about?
Because it's the
Most
brand.
prominent game.
Yeah,
It's the one that sucked the worst.
It turns out Atari just dumped a bunch of the games because nobody was buying 2,600 games in that landfill. God, Steph Macy has a great story about that shit. I will have to call him and have him on to share with you guys. It's very interesting. All right, so God of War, Last of Us. Those who know, but I want to know what made you think these two have a very similar shine.
Okay, first, let me put this right up front. I have not finished God of War yet. I've been playing, but I played enough to notice it's like, okay. While I'm talking, can somebody see what year God of War came out? What year the Last of Us came out?
God of War's 2018. Last of Us.
Do you mean the original God of War or the latest one?
The latest one.
Latest one, yeah.
Last of Us originally dropped in 2013.
Okay.
So 5 years swath between them.
So,
But those studios are not only both Sony studios, but both located in Santa Monica. One is Sony Santa Monica, the other is Naughty Dog. They are both located in Santa Monica, California. Wildly tight groups of people. They share a bunch of tech and stuff like that there. So there could be a lot of back and forth between those two groups. So let's put that out there too.
of course, like they're both third person games.
Yeah.
And what made me originally think about it was one of the many things I like to do when I'm playing a game where there's like a another person with you that's like the AI person.
Yeah.
I like to try to leave them all the time and see if I can get away from them. So, in The Last of Us, you can do it a little bit better. In this game, it's a little harder to leave your son. And I like to run backwards. That's just my thing. I like to move backwards real fast. I was like, when I see it, I'm like, he moves just like Joel backwards. So I just like start thinking about it like, let's look at some of the other similarities. Like first, pretty much almost the story is pretty much the same. That's like the basis of the story. Like, sorry about the spoilers here, but the mother dies and you take her ashes and you're going to like take her to the top of the mountain. So there's a journey there. And The Last of Us, the little girl, she is needed to save the world, so it's a journey to get her to a building. So first off, the journey, the trip, and everything that comes along with that. After both of them, I guess, really experience loss. So that's like the first similarity. Like the basis of the game is the same. Well, I'm sorry, the storyline of the game is the same. All right, so both children carry small knives. Like that's their first like that's Ellie's weapon throughout the game. Like first is having like her little switchblade, which she still has in the second game. Then also they both carry like their primary weapon after the knife is both bow and arrows. They both got male leaders who are gruff and harsh for no reason, pretty much mean to the kids for nothing. In both games, you battle undead people, and the living people seem to be more dangerous than the dead people. Like, you know, in both games. As you play more and more, you know, the kids get more and more responsibility and more, you know, you play with the kids sometimes exclusively. Sometimes you play with the adult exclusively. And as you go on, they build more attributes to be better. So, like I said, I didn't finish the game yet, so I still got more God of War to play, but it just reminded me of, like, pretty much it's almost the same as The Last of Us, except it's, you know, two dudes instead of a dude and a little girl. And, like, they both treat the kid like shit. Man, Kratos would just be talking shit to that kid like the whole time. Like, you not ready yet.
Kratos is training my man. He getting him ready.
Yeah. Them the kind of kids who fizzle out and don't know how to throw the ball right. Like, I didn't never want to play football to begin with, Dad.
So does God of War have his hooks in you enough where you think you're gonna finish it?
Yeah, I'll finish it. I like it.
I fuck with it. All right, so we'll come back around to that after the fact, because I think there's some things to be said there. It's a rare few games that I'm like I fuck with this, but God of War is one of them games that is like that shit was speaking real loud to your boy. So I'm saying it came out like only a few years after my kid's mom had passed away and so forth. So I'm still very raw about that kind of shit. So it's like it was wild to come into a game where that's a major salient point of the game and stuff. And it's a real pretty game. Like, it's a wildly beautiful game. Like, that's the thing where I think it's separate. The Last of Us is an ugly game intentionally because it's an ugly world.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, so God of War is very bright and colorful and stuff like that. Yeah. It really depends on what TV I'm playing it in the house. I noticed that. But as you go on, like when you're playing, especially like the beginning of The Last of Us, like the closer you you get to like the end of the game, like it's very colorful and beautiful. Yeah. But like when they're in the, because most of it's like underground and sewers and shit like that. So, but like when they get up and like the scene where like all the giraffes are around.
That's but that's also wildly late game. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that part of the game.
That like the college, like the college town, like
the college campus was indeed a real pretty. The college in what is that, like that's a hospital in there, or like, no, it's a research center. Yeah. So those areas were very bright, were very colorful. But it's like what it is like all the God of War is all bright and colorful. Like you'll only find like a couple words where it's like, ooh, it's dank here, and it's intentionally. So, but I hear you.
Yeah. It's funny, like my oldest son like really he was like, I just want to sit here and watch you play. Yeah. Which reminds me of much of my childhood, like just watching my brother play crap, because most of the good games aren't 2-player. Yeah. So, but I will play more. And I guess it's really not won't be much to report. I know it's honestly, I know I've heard of it before and I've seen people play, but I was like, I wonder why nobody told me this game was this good. It's really fun.
Dude, just throwing that X and calling that bitch back,
Yeah.
It's such a good mechanic, man. It works so well. I went through that game. I have all the trophies but 2, and I just simply cannot beat the last boss I need to beat to get the last trophy because you need to beat a boss that pops a trophy, and then that'll pop the overall platinum trophy that says you got all the other trophies. Like,
so why can't you beat the boss?
I caught all the motherfucking crows because you got to go through that game. It's like ravens all throughout that shit, and you got to kill them all the ravens that you see all throughout the game and so forth. It is such a challenging boss that it's like people make videos about on the internet all the time, like fuck this boss and so forth, and you got to go and basically grind to elevate your armor set, and like I did that shit, and I have the armor set that was always suggested, and I did everything I was supposed to do, and that boss just would get me every time. So I don't know. They have an update on PlayStation right now that lets it run at you can run it at basically performance mode, so run it at 60 frames per second, and maybe if I run it faster and more performance, I can make it happen. But also I'm wildly out of shape in that game, so it's like it's too late for me to try to come back all these years later and see if I can make it happen. But I truly, like I said, I love that game. That's one of them games where it's like I said, I was never a huge Sony head, but PlayStation 4 kind of pulled it out of me. And like I said, I play exclusives. That's what I do. I play the Sony exclusives on their shit. I play the Nintendo exclusives like on my Switch, and Microsoft is my overall everything console. So I'm saying I play like third party joints or whatever. I play on Microsoft shit, and so it just. Like I said, I fuck with it, man. That game is so good, right? And like that first fight when you really got to have to handle it.
Oh, the stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, man. It's too good. Yeah. And
I wasn't expecting to fight a hipster right off the bat.
I said that motherfucker was a Proud Boy. He definitely looked like one of them damn with the shitty dirty mullet and all the tattoos.
Yeah.
That dude definitely a QAnon. But yeah, man, that's the. I want to see how your experience goes in that game. So please, indeed, keep not just the listeners up to date, but me as well, because like I said, that's my shit, man.
Okay.
Just talking about it make me out of here start clickety clacking, man. I'm still working my way through Hitman. I really have truly enjoyed that game. I was watching Kind of Funny today, and Kind of Funny has a if you have Hitman 3 and go to the contracts, they have community contracts, and Kind of Funny is the community contract this week. Mm-hmm. And the one guy was there was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna kill everybody on this map and see what happens. And so he killed like 80 people when it's all said and done. But he popped the trophy for it, so there's gotta be an achievement or something for it. So I'm like, I might do that on one of these missions, go back and just murder the lot of them and see what happens. But Street Fighter characters are in Fortnite, so I bought that because I like Fortnite enough, but I also love Ryu and Chun-Li. And Chun-Li got the fattest ass in that game. It's weird that they draw Chun-Li like they draw her. It's like, how you got that much going on back there, Chun-Li? It's problematic, but in a good way.
It's unique when you see an Asian with a fat booty.
You need to hit our Reddit more.
I like how we've officially shifted you from Tumblr to Reddit.
I mean, I didn't have a choice, did I?
You held on for a good while.
I mean, quiet as is kept, Tumblr back, baby. Like they be having a lot of stuff on there. Like I'm like, I just want to look at some memes, man. What's going on with all this ass?
Yeah, they really did sculpt Chun-Li's ass. I'm looking at like pics on Google right now. Like I wanted to see what he was talking about because I don't play Fortnite.
Sir, yeah. Don't worry. It was coming in the chat as it is right now.
Well, I went and sought it out.
It took too long.
It looks like she's wearing like fucking Adidas low tops and just rocking a fatty.
Well, because you can put her in her standard Street Fighter costume, or you can put her in her like Street Fighter 5 costume, which is more of a tracksuit kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's like a blue tracksuit with like gold lines and shit on it.
Oh yeah, they really went for it.
Oh, forgive me, that's her Alpha 3 costume. Street Fighter Alpha 3 costume is what that is.
There's also some weird gifs here where like the camera is like by her ankles looking up at her ass as she bounces around and shit. This is weird.
Of course it is. Everybody gonna be playing Fortnite.
Well, everybody does play Fortnite. Fortnite's massive.
It's gonna be a generation of kids who pop their first boner to Chun-Li and don't know what's going on.
Oh, they know what's going on. They just gonna, like, you know, me as a pretty much a middle-aged man at this point, like, who never was into Asian women. It's gonna be a whole generation of kids like, man, I want an Asian girl.
But see, the way that like they do Chun-Li in these games, she doesn't look like 100% Asian. She looks like mixed Asian. So rather than like the eyes being fully kind of like Asian,
the almond shape that you traditionally associate.
Like in these Fortnite screenshots, she kind of looks more like Italian.
I love Italian women.
I'm serious. Like I'm looking at like the concept art and some of the stuff here, and it's like if you were to tell me that she was supposed to be an Asian character, I wouldn't believe you. I would think that like she came out of Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of the little girl from Rush Hour?
No.
No.
I'm sure Lunch will have those ready for you in a second.
Is it like how like Camille Winbush from Bernie Mac is now on like OnlyFans?
No, she like I don't know if the picture is true or nothing like that, but like she's Chung-Li thick now.
Well, was it she was Sue Young in that movie, right?
Shit, I don't know. This little girl that was singing Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Yep. No, this is her. Yeah, I see what you're saying. She definitely grew up and, discovered herself as a woman.
Like I was, on Instagram one time, and it might have just like popped up. It wasn't TMZ. What's the black version of TMZ? Shade Room.
Okay.
Like it's like, look at the girl from Rush Hour now. I was like, what? Yeah, but I felt bad for Bernie's niece when those pictures was popping up. I mean, I guess feeling bad ain't the word for it. It's like I just wish that I don't know how I should feel.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
feeling bad about what?
Does she want to still act, or she just want to show her butt in a thong on OnlyFans?
Why not both?
Yeah. Is one gonna get her a job?
I mean, the one is a job in a way.
That's true. I wonder how many OnlyFans fans she. I mean, how was it going for her? How many followers does she have?
Her page is free, so like.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah, she has a bunch. Yeah, her page is free, and then sometimes she'll post like little like 5-6 picture sets that you can purchase for like $5.
Oh.
But like a lot of her shit like is just free.
Yeah. Well, I'm not interested in seeing any pictures of Vanessa in the thong.
Yes, I'm not.
Like, she's got at least a couple thousand. Like, she posted a video of herself dancing on the 21st, so 4 days ago, and it has 2,491 likes. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just like 2 minutes of her just dancing in her living room. So it's like what I told you guys before. Like, not everything on OnlyFans is just like, here's my vagina, or here's my dong.
I'm fully aware of what OnlyFans used to be and how it started and stuff like that. I don't think that
every time I hear that shit, they're like, "Oh, OnlyFans is meant to be a place where people could be." I'm like, I just don't believe you, bro. Because first thing I heard about OnlyFans was titties, and titties hit hard.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be for fans. I'm like, bro.
OnlyFans probably started out as something wholesome, and it pivoted to something great.
Yeah, I mean,
like, are either of you familiar with the comedian Nacho Sarah Beatty?
I am unaware.
She opened one like a week or so ago because apparently like she was about to like not have any money to pay her rent, and I've been following her on the internet for years, right? Like she used to write for SNL. She does a lot of political humor on like Instagram and Twitter. Like she's basically spent the last 4 years just writing jokes about Donald Trump. And so like a week or two ago, I think it was like a Sunday night, and I was like laying in my bed watching TV.
I think it has cinnamon.
They can taste the egg and cinnamon. No, like I was in my room just watching TV and scrolling the internet on my phone as one does, and I saw like her tweet where it was like, I finally had to cave and make one of those OnlyFans things, otherwise I wouldn't be able to eat and pay my rent next month. And I was like, what? So then, like, I went to her Instagram page, and sure as shit, there was an OnlyFans link at the top. So I clicked on it, and I was like, this lady's clearly having a rough time. And I know, like, Anthony thinks that I'm just making, like excuses in my mind.
I'm not. I was like, seriously, making excuses.
No, but like, I was like, I didn't know what she'd be posting. Like, I didn't expect anything. But I was like, I've been following this lady for like 5-6 years now. I laugh at her shit all the time, but I've never bought anything. Like, I've never bought like an art book that she's done, like anything. I've never supported her financially in any way, but yet I've gotten years of entertainment out of her. She's basically telling the entire world right now that she's dead broke and about to be homeless. I'm like, I'm on mandatory overtime right now. I could afford to throw her the 1099, in support of whatever it is she needs. And, if I see a titty out of it, great. I'm not going to turn down a free titty or whatever. But, I had no expectations, right? So, like, she posted a picture that first night. Because I saw the tweet like 3 hours after it initially went up. So by the time that I had seen it, and like I gave her the 11, and then I looked at the page. It was just a picture that she would like post on Instagram. It wasn't anything like different. There was no nudity, nothing, right? That first picture, like, let me pull it up for. I just want to make sure I get the number right. But like I was doing the math because like I know like I knew what her charge rate was because it says it at the page on top page when you do it, and then I know like the cut that OnlyFans takes is 20%. So that first picture that she posted, which was like it's like nothing that she wouldn't have posted on Instagram, she had 4,275 likes on it. That's what she has right now. So let's see, 4,275 times 10.99 times 0.8 means that she has earned $37,585 in let's see, when was that posted? February 14th, 11 days ago. She earned over $38,000 in 11 days.
Just off that one picture, that's not since then.
Well, that's how many people are subscribed to her and liked that picture. She could have more people that just never click like. I have no way. Actually, no. She has a picture up higher that has over 5,000 likes on it. Because she's posted a couple more times since then. So she has one that has 5,025 likes on it. And I know this sounds like I'm pocket watching, but I'm just fascinated by how like someone of her All right, so based on that picture, because it's the highest number that she has, she's earned $44,179.80 in 11 days. And like she's a pretty lady, but I think this just goes to show that like the popularity of somebody could turn into quick money like this. Like a lot of the people that like because I read a lot of like the comments on that first picture, and I read some of the replies to her tweet, like the initial I made an OnlyFans tweet. And a lot of the people actually weren't there to try and see titties. I'm sure there were a lot of people that are. Like, those people exist. I'm not denying that. But there were, like, surprisingly, a lot of people where they're just like, you know what? You're funny. You need help. Here's $10 or $11 or whatever. Like, I'm not here for the nudity. And, like, a lot of people made an OnlyFans account just so they could subscribe for the 1 month and then, like, turn the resubscribe off and just give her the money. Like, they don't even care. But then obviously there were some people that were just like, no, don't do it. Don't give up your morality. Make a GoFundMe or find another way we can support you. When she just like literally says like, if I don't get money now, I'm going to be homeless in like 3 weeks. And it's funny because like, like 10 minutes ago, she posted something new and she definitely freed the nipple. That's why like, you guys were talking about OnlyFans. I mean, about God of War and shit. And I just looked down, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I've been wondering what those look like for the last like 6 years, and there it is.
Oh no! I said I was wondering if you've been sitting here like wondering, you know, what I'm saying like, if I could see her naked.
I mean, it's not like the thought never crossed my mind. Like shit. Like what was it? 4 years ago, she posted a picture of her topless with like the "I voted" stickers on her nips on Instagram. Back when she voted for Hillary, like she got real like new. She was in the news for that.
No, and that's why I'm like, that seems familiar. What's her name?
Sarah Beatty.
Oh,
Nacho Sarah on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, she's like I said, she's like a former SNL writer. She does like some sort of like she did like a art book, like art comic book thing, I guess, or something. I followed her because she was funny. I like at first I didn't even know she had an Instagram because I used to follow her on Twitter, and then when I found her Instagram, I was like, oh, she's cute, but she's one of those, she's depressed or like suffering from depression and all that shit. So like a lot of her tweets are just like self-deprecating humor or like real like it feels like I'm like reading jokes written by Daria.
I like Daria jokes.
Oh, this is a good one. Guys, if you body shame me, I automatically assume you haven't seen your dick in at least 3 years. Yeah, okay. She already has a thumbs up for me for her comedy because that's a funny ass joke.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was like I wouldn't have done it probably if she hadn't said something about like needing the money. There's one of those situations where it was like an artist that I've never supported that they were in need, and I was like, you know what, it is what it is. Yeah. Like if you look at her Instagram description, it's tits and depression.
Let's see, what's her? I'm on her Twitter. Writer, comedy person. I hate your ex-boyfriend. Sorry, I meant mine. I have big tits. She wrote to her. That's what her Twitter said. There you go. Well, success to you, lady. I hope. I see a bunch of people I know. A bunch of people I follow her. So there you go.
Yeah. She's funny. It's like 5 days ago. OnlyFans update. My parents are no longer speaking to me. Thank God.
Nice. How interesting, I guess. How I will. Yeah, it's like a ton of people who I like. It's a ton of check marks I fuck with that follow her. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's a popular lady. I just find it fascinating how quickly OnlyFans has like integrated itself in the culture. I think the quarantine kind of expedited that.
Exactly. It's one of those things where how terrible, not terrible. Okay, so look, let me put this down on paper. I guess to begin with, I am perfectly fine with sex work. I never have beef with it or question it or something like that. There, it is it's fine by me. It really is. So don't think I'm judging anybody. But also I feel like people who live in a country that just said fuck you. I don't care if you're the 500,000 people have died. You'll find a way, and people have. They found a way by turning to what works. And for some people that is doing
Well,
a gig
the thing
economy.
about it too, though, is like the site itself filled a need for like content creator and people who wish to view content,
Yeah.
because like Patreon existed, but in all honesty, Patreon's actually kind of shitty. Like the interface is in dire need of an updating. It's not very user friendly. Like some of the features are non-existent. They've been around for years. Like I follow a couple people, and if they like message me something in the Patreon inbox, I can't fucking delete it. Like it just sits there. Like I've had people I haven't followed in like 3 years, and they're just shit sitting there that I can't get rid of. It's like Patreon. It's just a bad OnlyFans at this point. OnlyFans came in and made a better Patreon, and Patreon also shot themselves in the foot like 2 years ago or whatever it was, when they were just like, look, you can't just be posting nudes up here on Patreon. We're not about that life. We're for creators and artists, but we're not for sex work. And OnlyFans is like, well, fuck, you can come here and post all the titties you want.
They filled a niche that needed to be filled. And like I said, when you got one company that's like clutching their pearls, and you got another company that's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come post your titties here. We'll just take 20%. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the cut that Patreon takes. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I think Patreon takes more.
So it's just like
You would think we would know that.
HD DVD or Blu-ray.
the reality of it is I can look at it and I can maybe math it out for
No,
you.
I've heard people talk about it. I think Patreon takes something like 32%, something like that. They take more and give you less. All I'm saying is, like, if I knew that I had a market for, like, posting my man titties on OnlyFans and I could get that kind of return, I probably would do it. Like, 2 months of that, my house would be paid off.
And when that's only been 2 weeks for her, right?
Yeah, well, like, the billing's monthly. So
Okay.
like, she opened the account, and then on March 1st, the people that stick around will be billed $10.99. So, I didn't put the rebill on. Like I said, like, this wasn't, like, for me, like, an intentional, I'm going to stick around forever. This was, like, I never supported you. When you need money, here's $10.99. Oh, hey, now I've seen your nipple. I can go right off into the sunset, knowing that I've seen the treasure.
Yeah, but there's other treasures to be seen, Daniel.
There are. That's why you have to venture out into the world and to these other pages.
To Reddit?
It's a good resource, I'll tell you that.
Oh my god.
It's funny though, like I told you guys at the beginning of the show, that I had like to me, at least to me, it was amusing OnlyFans story.
I'm ready to hear it. I've been waiting. So
there's like this cosplayer that I followed for like 2 years now, and she opened up an OnlyFans on the sly, like a little over a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wanted to see it, right? And like, I was just like, I gotta know. So I paid the money for the access, right?
Paid the gold.
I paid the iron price. And so, like, I found out about this page because she wasn't, like, promoting it on her, like, normal pages, right? This, like, I was made aware of this through, like, Reddit channels on accident. So, Anthony's laughing, but it's the truth, man. Like, it's funny because, like, the internet, like, when you have popularity on the internet, man, there's no secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, one thing you do, you try to hide it, and someone who follows you is like, I want to say like a stalker almost, and they'll spill the beans to everybody, you know. So it's like nothing is quiet for long. So it made the rounds, and I hopped on because I had to see, and so I hopped on like I want to say February 4th, right? And then I saw what was already there, but then like nothing else got posted, and it was like over 2 weeks and nothing else had gotten posted. And then I noticed on like her personal page that she posts shit on. She was on like vacation with her family and showing off like her new tattoo and stuff. And then like she was like did one of those like Instagram like ask me anythings, where like people send in the questions and then they reply and in follow up slides and stuff. Mm-hmm. And someone asked her about like if she had like a Patreon for her cosplay and shit, and she was just like, "No, I don't have a Patreon or OnlyFans or anything like that. And if you're only interested in me for my looks, you shouldn't follow me anyway." And she's like, "I only care about TikTok and Twitch." And I'm just like, wait a minute. What the fuck do you mean you don't have OnlyFans? I literally subscribed to that shit like 2 weeks ago. So I go back to the OnlyFans and like I click on her name in like, because like when you subscribe to her page, she had like a little auto message that went out. And I didn't feel like scrolling down the feed to try and find it because she hadn't posted anything in weeks. And I didn't feel like going to look for it. Which I know makes it sound like I subscribe to a bunch of OnlyFans. But there's like a couple of them that are free that like from celebrities that I followed. And they post a lot. So like I didn't feel like searching. So I go to the DMs and I click on her little icon thing on the DM. And then the page pops up and it's like, this user does not exist. And I was like, oh, this bitch went and charged, like, everybody. Like, it was one of those things, too, where she was like, $75 for people and you get unlimited lifetime VIP access to everything. It was one of those deals, I didn't do that, obviously, but because I'm not stupid. But I'm sure there are some people that were stupid and did. So it was at this point that I realized she had done this in the past, I think, with like OnlyFans. So what it is she had like a Twitter account set up that had like 65,000 followers already from before. Mm-hmm. And she just went like zero dark 30 on it when she like deactivated the last time. So then like she needed cash because she recently like moved and like was doing all this like family vacation shit and all this shit. So to get some quick cash, she opened up an OnlyFans under a different name, reactivated the old promo account, put the link out on the old promo account. All the old like creeper, it's weird, man. Like when you see like a Twitter account for like an OnlyFans page, it's only people that subscribe to it are like the most sleazy feeling people. It's like sleaze zombies. And so she reactivated that, put the link up to the new OnlyFans page. It was like, did like this whole like grand opening, I'm back, everyone come sub, blah, 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 blah. She got all those people in. Like, I'll be real, the entrance fee was $25. Like, that was how badly I wanted to see this, I was willing to pay the iron price this one time. So, she got, I think like the one picture had like 103 likes on it, so she got at least like $2,500 in just subs alone. And then I'm sure she probably sent shit out in private DMs for purchase, like before I ever, because like I said, like by the time I found out about it and hopped on, she stopped doing shit. So like I never got anything sent to me for like quote unquote purchase or whatever. But I'm sure she did that shit on the first like 2 weeks that she actually was using the page. And then she had that like fake $75 VIP service bullshit that she did. So she probably walked away with like $5,000 or $6,000 when it was all said and done. So like I think OnlyFans makes it so that you have to be like active for 30 days before you can withdraw your money. So she kept the page alive until the middle of February, and then when that 30 days was up, she cut and run and deactivated the page. So like she never posted anything after I signed up, and then just deactivated the page in the middle of my like month-long subscription. So I was just kind of like salty off that. So I was like, well, fuck, like this sucks. So I was like, I wonder if there's like anything I can do. So like I've not like I've never complained about OnlyFans or anything because it's not like I use it religiously. Like I know it sounds like I'm just like living on there, but I'm fascinated by the ease of use and the place in society it has now. But like
it's very, very pop culture-y right now.
And I do have like a couple that I have subscribed to, so it's like I'm familiar with the platform and everything. But I went to like the support section to see if there was like any like frequently asked questions about such a scenario, because I'm like, I paid for the month and then like she deactivated the account like probably like 12 days after I paid for the month. I'm like, that's kind of shitty. I'm like, let me see if there's anything about this. So there wasn't really anything specific to my situation listed, but there was like, I can't find my subscription. So I sent in a ticket to that, and I just basically wrote like, hey, I paid for this, and then she didn't post anything, and then she just dipped and deactivated the account in the middle of my subscription. Do I get like a partial refund, or like what happens here? And then someone from OnlyFans like replied and was like, we need the identification name to actually do anything. And then they tried to close my ticket, and I was just like, no. So I clicked reopen, and I sent the username. And then they took like 36 hours, and they got back to me, and they're like, okay, we've refunded you your money as a one-time courtesy. And then I actually had the email that was like, OnlyFans has refunded you $25. And I was just like, sweet. All's well that ends well. I got to see part of what I wanted to see, and I got my $25 back.
That's why people was mad at Bella Thorne. They was like, you over here fucking up the game for us. When she started her OnlyFans, she was like, I swear this is about to be a real deal OnlyFans and blah, blah, blah. And she had a pay-per-view for $50 or $100. And she swore it was going to be this straight up, this my goodies. But you got to pay to see him. And it wasn't. And like, so everybody and mama just started doing chargebacks because you can do chargebacks via your credit card company, or I guess you like you did go through the channels of
customer service.
Yeah, I guess like it was just after I put the pieces together about like everything that had happened, because like I said, like I follow her on Instagram, I was following her on Twitter, so it's like I can see her post shit, and then when I put the whole scheme together in my mind, I was kind of angry about it. Because, like, if she just not posted anything for the whole month of February, I just would have turned the rebill off, because I already had turned it off. Like, that's the first thing I do is, like, I turn rebill off. Because, like, I'm not trying to be on these pages all the time. It's like sometimes I'll get, like, a little curious, see what's behind the paywall, especially if there's, like, a deep sale, you know? Like, the one wrestler that I follow, that I saw at like an indie show a couple years ago. She had like a sale up for a couple bucks the one day, and I was like, I'll give you a couple bucks for 30 days just to see what's back here. And then I hopped off. Like,
yeah, that's right. Let's see what's back there.
Behind the paywall, I mean.
So the thing is, OnlyFans used to be basically, if you had OnlyFans, you could go on OnlyFans and basically pull out money every day if you wanted to. You just could. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. But once that Bella Thorne chargeback situation happened, they was like, all right, going forward, like you said, you got to be on for X amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Hold your account down for so long, and you can only pull out basically every 30 days. Basically a Patreon type model. You can only get your dough like once a month. And like I said, people was like, yo, you are fucking up the game for people who are here doing, actual sex workers who are here to, who are on job. And you out here doing this as a motherfucking hobby, and it's a problem. And so a lot of people were like really were hated on. They were right to be angry with her because of that. So now as you presented, it's like, oh, they people have found a work they can like, I can hold on for 30 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The whole thing about it was like, if she had left the page open and then just not posted anything for February, it would have sucked and I would have been irritated, but I wouldn't have said anything. But the fact that like as soon as like your 30 days was up, you just cut and run, shut the whole ship down, and took the bag and ran away. Yeah. I was like, that's kind of shitty. So that's why like I reached out just to see if there was like even if they had just given me 2 weeks worth of it, like prorated it and gave me half back, I'd been cool with that because like I was there for 2 weeks. I wasn't seeking out my whole money, and I wasn't angry. Like I didn't. There's no. I tried to write it with no tone or anything. I was legitimately just curious because I didn't know. And then they gave me the whole thing back without me having to like go through a whole rigmarole. So they tried to make it seem like don't let it happen again, almost like I'm the one who fucking like did something wrong. But I was just like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. It felt like bad business, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. You know, it's dope that you did something about it, and who knows, maybe you just told somebody about something they need to know about. You know what I'm saying? So, because I doubt that person is the only one doing this. If that's a thing, somebody's out there doing this. Somebody's scamming, you know. And so, it's just like. But you are right. The dudes who get out there and follow and basically be retweeting, you know, porn stars, OnlyFans stars, it's like, you're a real particular type of grimy nigga.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I feel like I'm like a normal kind of like dude where I'm like, I live a normal life, but every now and again there's like certain people's titties I want to see or support their profession. But like, I'm not on like these weird ass back page Twitter pages and shit telling like robots that like, oh girl, you're so sexy and here's my phone number, or like I want to meet. Like, I don't do any of that shit. I'm not. That is no. And I feel bad in a way for the people that I see doing that shit, because like it feels grimy, but also it feels sad. Like almost like these people have nothing else and like they're just hoping. It's real sad to watch.
Yeah. It is like I said. Like I said, it's a certain type, and they seem to follow a certain like. It's interesting what you come across in these internet streets. Like I said, you be like, bruh. It's not like you're trying to be disrespectful and you're not trying to clown on them. It's just like kind of like
yeah, definitely not. It's like going to a bar and all the dudes who have no shot of getting with like a woman trying to buy her a drink and shoot their shot, but like like 1,000 times over on one tweet. You know, it's like you could go to a bar and see 3 guys try in one night. That's like tough to watch or funny to watch or whatever. But when someone posts one picture and then they all of a sudden got 3,000 comments of the same shit, you're like, ugh. Like, this is too much sadness in one place.
Because sometimes it is like, oh my god, niggas like, I'm gonna, you know, like spunk to you tonight or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen here?
Also, why are you using the term spunk? It's gross, bro. Don't say that.
I mean, I kind of feel like when people use certain words or have big ass American flags on their car, you just know that's the kind of people you stay away from. Keep on using spunk, brother.
I'm gonna spunk to this ebony porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm glad that I feel like I'm a normal kind of perv. Like, and like, I don't say perv in that like there's anything wrong with like, it's normal, perfect human reaction. But I'm glad I'm not on that level where I'm following pages that are like clearly like business pages or set up as robots and shit, telling like these robot pages like, oh my god, girl, I can't wait to send you roses and nut off to your Instagram pictures and. Like, because I have to imagine, like, what happens if, like, I am sure that there's some dudes who are, like, married and, like, they have no fucking clue that, like, their wives can easily find the shit that they say to these people. It's not, like, hard to do, you know? And it's like, I wonder how many marriages have broken up just from, like, a wife finding their creeper husband on Twitter saying weird shit to, like, robot pages. Because, like, I know, like, the one guy who worked with my stepdad that, like, he's that kind of person where, like, he gets all the robot friend requests on Facebook and he adds them all and he thinks they're all real women that want to talk to him. My uncle, I think, is kind of bad like that, too, now. Like, not in, like, the Twitter comment way, but, like, I think it's an Instagram thing where he follows all the pages. Because my uncle is, like, that one is, like, I want to say like 60, 61 now. He's at that point in his life where he's old, but like he's not willing to admit it. He's the one with the boat that like tries to like hit on young chicks around the world and shit. It's like watching the Twitter comments, but in real life. Like, he did it at my grandmother's funeral. He pulled out his phone while, yeah. Obviously, like, I'm not as sad this week as I was last week. I'm holding the depression in a little bit better. But, yeah, I was, like, they had, like, display pictures of my grandmother, like, kind of like a family tree kind of deal over by, like, her little setup at the wake. And like they had taken like poster board and like when you did science projects in school and like that the trifold thing, they posted like all the family photos on it, like her with the grandkids and her when she was younger and all kind of shit. So at one point during the wake, I got up to go look at the pictures, and like my uncle comes over and he's talking to me, and he pulls out his phone and starts showing me this chick from like somewhere in Europe, and I'm just like. Who's this? I'm like, is that a robot? Or I'm like, or is that one of those digitally created like people? And he goes, no, this is so and so. And he like starts showing me like a picture that she sent, our video she sent him of like her pet rats. And I'm like, why the fuck is this broad from across the world sending you pictures of her pet rats? And he goes, oh, I used to sail with her. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, is this the one that like you went sailing with like 3 years ago and then she curbed you? And he goes, yeah. Well, he did. I didn't say curbed, but you know what I mean.
I hear you.
but I was like, wait, so she's talking to you again? And he goes, yeah. And I go, why the fuck are you talking to her though? And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you already took her sailing with you once, and like she ditched you, and now she's trying to talk to you again. I'm like, why don't you exercise some self-respect and just not reply back? I'm like, she clearly was using you. And he goes, no, she's just looking for a sense of family. And I'm like, she go find it with your old ass on your boat. She's looking for your money, dog.
Oh my god!
I think he thought that like I would be impressed that his old ass was like trying to pull some like 25-year-old chick, but like, nah, dude. Like, if you two were like actually in love, that'd be one thing. But I feel like you're just trying to show her off to me like some sort of trophy. Like, look, I'm old as shit, but I could still pull this girl. Like, I don't care, man. Like, old, be old, don't feel old. Do whatever your heart can feels. But like. You don't need my approval. Like, I'm not gonna like dap you up and be like, "Oh man, my 61-year-old uncle still got it. He's still the man." Like, I never thought you were the man at any point in my entire life.
Well, that's what he's searching so hard for.
Very black uncle of him, man. I'm kind of impressed. Look at this nephew. You know what I'm saying? Showing off what he.
But it's the reverse. Black uncles be like, that's you, nephew?
Yeah.
That's you with that computer-generated Russian babe?
Ever since that My Pillow thing, and I found that like page that explained how those were like computer-generated like reviews and shit, I can't help but think that like most of the people that I see online now don't actually exist.
Yeah. The simulation shit be getting realer and realer.
Because like when I went to that page where they generate them, it's like, if you didn't know that you were on a page that generates that kind of shit, you would think those are actual people. Maybe, like, using slight filters or something, but, like, the difference between them and, like, a real person is very difficult to tell by the naked eye. Yeah. So now I have a great distrust of all promotional things on the internet.
Yeah, I'm right, naked eye.
You just can't call if it's fake or not, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like, Instagram promotes so much shit that, like, I've been getting one in my feed the last couple days for some, like, anti-heroes comic book thing where it's like you pay, like, $50 for, like, a blind bag of comics and shit, and, like, their store don't even work on the Instagram page and shit like that, and I'm like, they have, like, 2 comments on some of their posts, or no, like, I have a bunch of posts with no comments. I'm like, why are you feeding this to me, Instagram? Because I liked a couple Venom pictures. Now you think I want this like bogus ass store in my feed?
I was listening to the Kind of Funny podcast today, and they had one of the hosts, high school buddy. He has come up with a new social media. He was breaking down what's so
felt about Instagram and how, of course, how he said it was different. And,
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, you just went lower.
I know this might be like a funny question, but are you sure that your microphone's actually on?
Looking right at it. Oh,
Was it?
you are right, I think. Let's see.
Because it sounds like you're talking into the computer mic and not like a mic.
You know what mic I'm talking into?
that camera mic. That's not the mic I should be on. This is going to sound real shitty, people, until right about
Now. And that should sound considerably better, correct?
Yeah, now it
Yeah.
sounds
Because
loud
it's
as
that
hell.
microphone and not that microphone. So you're going to have a real substantial quality difference in this episode right about an hour and 18 in. Check me out. Cool. Well, we figured that out.
Yeah, because like Anthony, I've been able to hear just fine. Like, you know how I told you I turned the
Yeah,
audio
yeah.
up earlier? Anthony is clear as bell, like loud as shit. You sounded like you were like in a
He
tunnel
told
on
me
the
I
other
sounded
end.
quiet, and that's because it's using the camera mic, which has just the tiniest little nobody microphone. So, like I said, you're definitely going to have a real dramatic change in the audio quality from your boy here.
Yeah, and I only just pieced it together because the way you turned away from the mic and it got way quieter, like we couldn't hear you. So that's
Yeah.
when I was like, line of sight, something's off.
Correct. All right, what the hell's I about to say?
You were listening to the podcast and his buddy was on.
So he's breaking it down how Instagram is basically it's every fourth image is an ad. How they use things you've looked up. I mean, everybody knows this, but like it's interesting to hear things that you've looked up feed into the algorithm. Also, of course, things you say, because even though they swear they ain't doing it, they doing it because it's so clear that they're doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. My buddy came over here by me 2 days ago while I was working overtime, and he had an ad for like a razor blade company, and he goes, "Oh, do you need this?" And I go, "No, dog. I'm like, I got plenty of razors. Like, I barely ever shave. Like, my razors are good. I can use them for like years. Because I don't shave very often. I have an electric razor." 2 days later, Instagram's trying to shill me razors.
And so and it's another thing he explained. He explained that so like if you get in proximity with somebody, their Google search history, no matter what it is, will kind of blend with your search history, and then they'll be like, all right, well, he knows somebody who fucks with razors, and maybe he want to fuck with razors. Let's serve him up a razor ad and see what catches, you know. And so basically, I'm like, yo, man, Instagram since the Facebook purchase has just become wildly shitty. Like I said, and he was explaining how the setup of how they how that non time, you know what I'm saying, out of time timeline, where it's like, you know what I'm saying, shit posted 4 days ago, but I'm just now seeing it, you know what I'm saying? How that's used to keep you in the app the entire time. How if you click a link on it, it opens up in the app, and that's another step they do to keep you in the app.
One of the things that they do that really pisses me off with the timeline is when you open up Instagram, there's the shit that's already there loaded, but then like before you can even click to scroll, they fucking refresh it and push everything down. So like the first post could catch your attention, and before you can actually like look at it, say it's a video. Like I opened up like yesterday, there was a video of two guys playing basketball, like a pickup basketball game with a portable hoop on a cliff.
I saw that, yeah.
And I wanted to watch it, and before I could click on the audio to play the audio and let the clip go through, the page refreshed itself and shattered away, and I couldn't find it again.
Yes.
He's like you said, he seems so knowledgeable about other people's, because of course that's his competition, and he was explaining how Snapchat has yet to turn a profit, how it took Twitter years to turn a profit, then they didn't turn a profit, then they returned to profitability and so forth. And like he said, it just doesn't work, the whole model of get a bunch of users and then figure out how you're going to monetize them later. Instead, he's like, I'm just going to make you pay up front. What he said with that, and he was explaining how that will prevent people from, you're not going to get a lot of people just making fake accounts to start shit, because that's just what people do. You're going to, in theory, have a smaller user base, but a more dedicated user base, because like, look, they ain't trying to fuck around. People ain't trying to fuck around money most places, in most situations. And I was like, you know what, bro? You're right. I don't know if that's the answer, but it is an answer.
So that's an interesting. I don't know. We just talking about social media and just kind of like reminded me of that. So that's where I'm at.
I feel like that kind of thing wouldn't be an answer for big brands because their goal is to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So shrinking their audience down isn't going to be productive for them. But it might be like I could see it being the Patreon of Instagram.
Kind of divide, but then I don't know if y'all saw what I sent you earlier. Like Twitter, of course, came with a thing called what is it, super followers, super likers, whatever that shit is.
Yeah,
that they announced today. So basically, their version of Patreon, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's fucking around with these models right now. They're trying to figure out ways to make money.
I mean, Instagram has the stickers thing in the lives where you can pay to have a sticker sent or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, YouTube has super chats. Twitter, you subscribe to the streamers and shit.
Yeah.
You can donate subs, that kind of shit. On OnlyFans, you subscribe, but you can also tip. So then, Twitter's doing the same thing now. I'm sure there's other avenues. Like, I don't have an iPhone, so I don't have Clubhouse, but I hear everyone talking about that shit.
I have it. How to use it is beyond me.
Yeah, well, like I kind of want I know we're getting late in the evening because we had a late start tonight, but there was one thing that I did want to talk about. The OnlyFans thing just kind of happened. That wasn't planned.
I hear you.
I don't know if you guys how much you've done research on crypto and blockchain and all that stuff, but the blockchain technology seems to be what the future is going to hold for internet transactions, and it's starting this new phase in internet artwork where the NBA is partnered with a company that's called NBA Top Shot, and imagine booster packs for collectible cards.
I saw this. They were talking about this. Where they seen that? Huh. It used to be on Snapchat this morning, on a SportsCenter Snapchat. Yeah,
it's they're an official NBA partner, so they got mentioned on TNT's broadcast the other night. It's been talked about, been growing on Twitter and stuff the last couple months. I joined it last week just because other people were talking about it, and I think it was Brian Windhorst did an ESPN article about how the one moment sold for $300,000. Because that's what they call them. They're called moments.
Yeah.
And what it is how you would open up. Say we went to FYE and I bought a pack of Magic the Gathering cards or whatever, and I open it up and I have the cards. Well, there's been apps like Topps Trader for sports cards and stuff that are digital. How I used to do the Star Wars card trader back in the day, and I would sell them. I'd go through eBay. Well, they've developed a blockchain where they can mint, quote unquote, so many copies of the card, or in this case it's moment, which is it's like a GIF, it's like a little video clip, and if you get it out of that pack, you own digitally that moment. And it's not if you were to Google search an image and then save a copy yourself, because the way the blockchain works, everything has its own identification code, so there's only so many that can be quote unquote minted or made, and it's becoming popular. This site is mega fucking popular already. I tried to get in to get a pack 2 nights ago. It was a $9 common set pack, and there were only 5,000 packs available. It wasn't you could just go on the store and buy a pack, right? There was they dropped at it was supposed to drop at 11 p.m. our time, Eastern time, but then they had a fucking server delay, so it got pushed back to 11:30. I was on the site 40 minutes before the pack was supposed to drop. It put you into a queue randomly, so it's not even based on what time you get to the page. So every person that comes to the page to buy a pack gets placed into a random queue, So, like, you could show up 2 minutes before the pack drop. You could show up an hour before the pack drop. Everyone who shows up gets placed in the queue randomly. So there were only 5,000 packs. When the queue numbers came and were, like, sorted, I was pick number 66,752. So, needless to say, I did not buy a $9 pack of digital cards. But the whole thing to me is fascinating because, like, it's another step in blockchain being used, which I feel like validates cryptocurrency more going forward, especially with these big companies announcing that they've acquired Bitcoin assets for potential future use.
Yeah.
So the part though that, like, I feel like I have a hard time grasping my mind around is the fact that people are willing to pay these exorbitant amounts of money for what is essentially video clips on a server.
Yeah.
It's not like buying a piece of artwork that you hang on your wall in your home and you can hold and, like, move around or whatever. It's literally on a server that you can't touch. Like, you can look at it, you can play it on your computer or whatever, and then you can sell it to somebody else and ship it off on the blockchain to their account. But, like, you can never physically hold it because it doesn't truly exist outside of the internet. But yet someone would pay $300,000 for a, like, 5-second clip of LeBron hitting a fadeaway turnaround 3-pointer or something like that. I just can't believe that this is, like, the progression of where the world is going. Like, people can't eat, but yet we have $300,000 to spend on GIFs, essentially.
So that story, and of course the story of blockchain in general, reminded me of a story I heard some years ago on what turns out to be Planet Money, which is an NPR podcast, and it talks about the island of stone money. And so it's not too long a story, so I'm going to just give you a little bit of it. There's a tiny island called Yap out in the Pacific Ocean. Economists love it because it's a helpful answer. It helps answer this really basic question: what is money? There's no gold or silver on Yap, but hundreds of years ago, explorers from Yap found limestone deposits on an island hundreds of miles away, and they carved this limestone into a huge stone disc, which they brought back across the sea onto their small bamboo boats. It's unclear if these stones started as money, but at some point, the people of Yap realized that what most societies realize: they needed something that everyone agrees you can use to pay for stuff. And like many societies, the people of Yap took the thing they had that was pretty, their version of gold, and decided that was money. A piece of stone money was really valuable. You wouldn't use it for some everyday purchase. You use it for something big, a daughter's dowry, say. If somebody was in real dire straits and something happened to their crop or food, or they were running low on provisions and they had some stone money, they might trade, says Scott Fitzpatrick, an anthropologist of North Carolina State University who is an expert on Yap. One key thing about this money is it was really heavy. A big piece could weigh more than a car. As a result, this very concrete form of money quickly made the jump of being something very abstract. They often talked about the stones themselves not changing hands at all, Fitzpatrick says. In fact, most of the time they wouldn't. So imagine there's this great big stone disc sitting in a village. One person gives it to another person, but the stone doesn't move. It's just that everybody in the village knows that the stone now has a new owner. In fact, the stone doesn't even need to be on an island to count as money. One time, according to the island's oral traditions, a work crew was bringing a giant stone coin back to Yap on a boat. And just before they got back to the island, they hit a big storm. The stone wound up at the bottom of the ocean. The crew made it back to the island and told everybody what happened, and everybody decided that the piece of stone money was still good, even though it was at the bottom of the ocean. So somebody today owns a piece of stone money, even though nobody's seen it for over 100 years, Fitzgerald said. The system in the end feels really familiar. If you go online to pay your electric bill, what's really changing in the world? Some digits in your bank account get shifted around along with some digits in the power company's bank account. In other words, the stone money on the bottom of the ocean that you use to own now belongs to the power company. So I remember that story, and it's like, that's Bitcoin to me. It's stone money at the bottom of an ocean. You know what I'm saying? It moved, and you said it moved, but did it move? And what made it move? Well, we said it moved, and that in itself is its ingrained value. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I find it interesting that the people will buy. I mean, but you've sold was it WWE cards or also Magic cards online, right?
I've sold Magic cards online. I sold like that Star Wars card trader app.
Yeah.
I was selling those. Like, I'd go to eBay, I would list that I had the card on the app, and then I would say in the listing, like, message me your username after you pay, and I'll open up a trade with you and send you the card. You know? Yeah. So, like, I did that shit for a little bit.
So, again, like I said, all this kind of comes back around to it. NVIDIA, who makes graphics cards for computers, recently announced that they're going to... They just came up with a set of cards, I think like late last year. And they're going to stop making those cards that they just came out with because most people who buy those cards are cryptocurrency miners. So what they're going to do is stop making those cards they're making now. Start, making them again, basically, but take out the ability to mine crypto. But then start making a crypto mining card specifically for crypto miners that doesn't have any video out or anything like that there. It's just what it's for. It's for mining Bitcoin. And what is the other one? Ethereum, I believe?
Yeah, Ethereum's like basically the one that's like second best right now, considered.
And so people can use those cards to mine crypto, and then people who want video cards for, video can, of course, will hopefully be able to start getting cards that for their intended purpose.
It makes sense because, like, I know that lately with gaming on the upswing, as far as like gaming is like a full-time job for a lot of people now.
Yeah,
like cards have been hard to come by to the point where like there's like a black market for video cards.
Yeah,
and you get to sell twice as much product now by splitting it up.
Yeah, and also like in general, like all things, there is this huge reseller market, and so people are buying up those cards instantly and selling them for double.
Yep.
And of course, if you go buy them on eBay, you don't know if they've been used for crypto this entire time, and what it is that means that card's been running hard for X amount of time that you'll never know. And thusly will be of less use to you in the long term. So it's like you want to be able to buy new from, a retailer that you buy a card from. So just interesting to me how the reseller game has, again, this pandemic has shown a lot. People being, inventive and showing some ingenuity and hustling, Like if you wanted to, and you came to terms that it wasn't worth your time to cop Xboxes and flip them because it's just like it's too involved and you can't trust motherfuckers on eBay. You just can't. So, but others have figured it out. There's yes, I realize the term scalping is not cool, but there's a scalping group, and they refer to themselves as such in England that has been buying up PlayStation 5s since they first dropped and has yet to be stopped thus far. And they work as a unit. They buy thousands of PlayStation 5s, and then they go and flip them, and people are buying them because they super want a PlayStation 5. And
Anthony and I were talking about something like this a couple weeks back, and I told Anthony that I would look into it and we'd talk about it later, and then my grandma died, and we never circled back. But I actually did watch a bunch of YouTube channels about like store flipping, about like go to like Gabriel Brothers or Ollie's or TJ Maxx or Walmart, and scanning items in those stores that are like on clearance or on sale, or you have coupons and shit like that, and going like to the Amazon sellers app and seeing if like you could sell it on Amazon and make a profit. And there are people whose whole jobs are just doing that. Like I watched like the one channel where like at the beginning of the pandemic in California, the guy, he listened to the news and he saw that like they were talking about having restaurants being able to open up patios so that they have customers. Mm-hmm. Well, like at the beginning of that, it was still like kind of their chili season. So what he did was he went to like all the Home Depots in the area and he bought out all the patio heaters because they were like $150 each. So he had like 300 patio heaters in his warehouse. And then he just listed them all on Amazon and sold them for like twice as much each because the restaurants needed them for, to have actual customers during the pandemic. Yeah. So he just doubled his money off that.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just supply and demand. It is how capitalism is meant to work. So it's like, it's frustrating in one regard because it's like, dude, I know that this costs X amount of money and I shouldn't be paying this much money on it. But also, you got me by the goddamn balls. I need these heaters for my restaurant. And so... you said you pay the price, and that's just what the hustle is, man. So, as always, any financial advice you get from us is not to be trusted or believed. We're just a bunch of liars.
It's not actual financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. You can't sue us. We're not telling you what to do.
I'm definitely not telling you what to do, for sure.
Hey, I'm not trying to get sued because we talked about someone reselling some Bratz dolls on Amazon.
It's the hustle. As we okay, quick little tangent, and then we'll get it. We'll wrap it up. We'll slide on out here, people. It's all good. This is something my daughter told me the other day. Is that as we get here in the late days of February, as we record, it's a Black History situation. She was discussing how the only class so far in her that has been touching on Black history has been her choir class, and that she has discovered a couple of things about herself. She does not like the term people of color. And she doesn't like the term African American. And I go, that is because you are Black and you know better. And I go, a person of color, I get it. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, make it an umbrella term, but it doesn't work because your lived experience, this is me explaining to her, your lived experience as a Black person is different than their lived experience as a person of, of Southeast Asian descent or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, we all might be, a person of color in that we have a shade of color, but we are not the same because we have not had the same lived experience. And she was, I go, what's the beef with African Americans? She said she just doesn't like the way it sounds. And I explained to her, yeah, because it really do just sound like another way of saying nigger. It just don't sound right when the wrong person say it. I go, Black people say it kind of got, I don't know, it has just enough of a tone to be like, that sounds right. But white people say it always sound kind of filthy. African American. And I'm just like, look, bruh, we don't claim that set because Africa is too big to be trying to bang that shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't say European American. We always say Swedish American or, British American. We always narrow it down to a country within a continent. We don't just say all of this continent. You know what I'm saying? We do for Australia, but it's both a continent and a country. So that's the only reason we do that. But because they stole us from the continent of Africa, but they never kept records on where they stole us from, of course, they just tried to use African as a way of hitting everybody off at once. And I'm just like, it just not work, man. It's cool. Black is okay. It's a fine turn of phrase. But you hear people sometimes who are mad nervous to say it. You'll see people say, I remember being in multiple meetings and people they would say, African American, if Black is about to come out their mouth, and it's like they feel like Black has become a swear word. It's like, bro, I didn't volunteer you for that. Don't do that to yourself. African American don't work for me because I'm not from Africa, and I guess my lineage can be traced to Africa, but all our lineage can be traced back to Africa because it's the motherfucking motherland, cradle of motherfucking civilization, and so I like that my kid, with no pushing from me, was just like, I don't fuck with them turns of phrase. And I go, it's cool. You can just be Black. And that's okay. So that's just a wild one. I thought I'd share it with you. Well, another reason Box is cool, because Box has always been like, yeah, it's Black folk. He don't be saying African American because he don't fuck with that shit.
Well, like, if we were to go for her white half, what would it be, like German American?
So, one, not half white, part white. Because her mother's grandmother is 100% Lebanese, making my children 12 and a quarter, 12.5% Lebanese. And so there's that. There is, where is her grandfather from? Her great-grandfather is...
It becomes like a pie chart with like so many different colors.
I believe Polish, but maybe... Yeah, it's Polish. So he's definitely a Pole. He's definitely Polish. So... Therefore, that becomes X amount of Polishness. But then we flip it the other way, and like on their mother's father's side, it gets cut off at his mom because his mom was adopted, and they don't know her history from her actual history. They just know her raised history. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it gets chopped off and cut off from here and here and here. So it's just like.
One of the things that I find interesting about like social media with when it pertains to like mixed people, like black and white mixed people.
Yeah.
It's like when I see them talk about stuff, it's always from the black perspective, or not, I shouldn't say always because that's a very broad brush, but most of the time it's like from the black perspective to the point where like I forget that they're even like mixed.
Yeah.
Until like I see like a picture like, oh, these are my parents, and I'm like, oh shit, one of your parents is white, because you never talk about it. It's like it will always be posts about like after George Floyd, like the black experience after George Floyd last year, and like heavy use of the N-word, and it's like I always forget that like the white stuff never seems to get talked about because it always seems to get pushed to the back, you know.
I was listening to a podcast called Yo, Is This Racist? And they had a caller in last week who was like, I am a white identifying biracial person, multiracial person, I believe is what they went with. But they think that that's what they went with. They lean white, maybe because of how the parent that raised them or whatever. But that's just how they get down.
And that's the thing about it all that confuses me. It's like because I don't think about like. I don't judge people based on their race and all that kind of shit. Like to me, like I say Asian because like I don't know particular cultures. Like I know like someone yelled at me one time because like I said Asian. They're like, oh, they're Korean or what. I'm like I can't tell the difference. I'm sorry. Like if you tell me, I'll remember for the next time. But like going into it blind, I can't tell if you're Korean or Japanese or Chinese. Like I don't know the difference based on looks. I don't. But like. If you're like mixed, to me you're black and white. I don't just go, oh, you're black. Like so it's like when people are mixed and like they only ever seem to be like, oh, you're about to say like, oh, she claims to be white but is also something else.
Yeah.
But like it's almost like it feels like you're just like I'm this, but then like just ignore the fact that I'm also this. Whereas like I look at people and I'm like, you're both of these things.
Yeah, but that makes you special though.
Yeah. It's just not how it works. In fact,
that's not how it usually works.
It's in fact for a very long time. It was like there's like legal ramifications for it. They would go out to like if you had the rule with the law was stated was the one drop rule. If you had a drop of black blood in you were black, and that's how you have people who are like quadroons and octoroons and sectoroons because they would go all that far out. They would break
it down about how much black blood you had in there.
Yeah,
that is one thing that stood out to me in school. Like. Oh, he was an octoroon. Well, who the fuck came up with that terminology? It sounds bad.
I never even heard this shit until just now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we might have talked about it at some point in the past, but like,
who knows?
This isn't like any shit that I ever had like talked about in school or have ever had a conversation with the boys about or anything.
Yeah. Well, I took well, you know me. I'm a student of history and so forth, and of course, I went to high school down south, and so they try to teach you a lot of this stuff. But also, I took several like black that's not sociology, but whatever. Just like this part, I met my man Fran at one of them classes. One of them African. I'm gonna go with sociology, but African American because that's what they refer to it as is like so. It's not sociology, but I'm just gonna call it sociology.
Anthropology.
Classes. Anthropology. Thank you. Classes and in college, and That was one of the things. That's one of the things they put us on to. It's like, yeah, the one drop rule. And like I said, if you look it up, you can read all about it. And you, the listener, who may not be a black person and be hip to this shit, go read about the one drop rule and how it has affected us and still does even to this day. And so that's why black folk be like, "Ah, you black to me." Because all you need, because at some point we kind of, again, just like we be taking back a lot of things. We took that back, was like, if it's some black in you and we find out about it, you black. Like, I think Pete Wentz supposed to be kind of black, right? Somewhere down his line, he got some black in him.
You know, you say that, but then like a lot of people that I see in the comments section on shit on Twitter don't really seem to support your claim right now. I see a lot of infighting on judging people's blackness.
I'm gonna go with.
I mean, that's just part of what it is. Like, people. I mean, this is something we could probably talk about literally all night long. Like, the history stated, like, with one speck of blackness in you were ruined.
Yeah.
And that's something that we all like. That nobody here standing determined. Like I said, it stood out of my head like about being like the guy who was 1/15 black and couldn't vote.
Yeah, all that shit's just crazy to me because like I don't hate anybody for their nationality or anything like that. So like, to me, I just look at people. I think maybe it's because of the way my brain classifies things into certain boxes, and that's just how I organize it mentally. So like, you know, like I look at your kids, and you know, your kids are mixed. Like, they are black, they're also white, they're all like they're everything. Like, to me, like, they're the sum of all the parts, but I acknowledge all the parts in the sum.
Yeah.
So like, it could be like that for anybody, you know. So but like, I admit, because I don't hate anybody for any of the parts. To me, it doesn't feel wrong to notice that there are parts.
Yeah.
But like society, a lot of people, it feels like if you acknowledge the parts, then like there's hatred in that. But for me, there's no hatred.
Or that you are somehow taking away from the other part.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like, and I know, again, you, like Anthony's correct. You are special in that regard. That is not how most people function. And I tell them, and I've had that experience with my children. I had the conversation with the kids before. It's like, yeah, look, you are, yes, I know that you are of multiple things, but society is going to look at you like you are a black person and treat you as such, and so you have to be prepared for it. And it's just the honest truth of what it is, you know. And that stinks, but it is what it is, man.
I actually like, and it's funny because like I find people more fascinating when they have different parts in the pool. Like, to me, it makes them have more depth. You know, like there's so much more there to learn. Plus, I find mixed women sexy.
I know. But it's cool.
That's part of why I'm mad at society. If they allowed more interracial dating before my generation, I'd have a greater pool of people to pick from.
I mean, hey, maybe you just got to be in the right city. Somewhere it's just like, man, it ain't nothing but biracial people here, multiracial people here, somewhere. I don't know where, but
I feel like Toronto is going to have a lot of that. The couple times we go up there, there's a lot of mixed couples walking around.
Yeah. And of like all kinds of blends, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We saw like black and Indian, and white and black, and white and Indian, like Chinese and black. Like, there's all kinds of stuff up there.
Yeah. God, I love that town. Y'all need to be watching Kim's Convenience on Netflix. It's a great show. It takes place in Toronto, so I'm extra in love with it because it might as well be my new school Degrassi because I love shit like that, man. It's a great show. It's on Netflix. Kim's Convenience. Give it a watch. You'll love it. Trust your boy. Let's slide. Oh, yo. So, you know, we do this each week. We hit up these Reddit mean streets. That's with a selection from the r/AITA, which is Am I the Asshole? And we enjoy them. And Box sent me one already this week. And then what was dope about that was people who fuck with it in Twitter was like, oh, I screenshot of some comments. So a couple of these is cocked up and ready to shoot. But I also got a couple that I just pulled from we can just randomly discuss and see if they speak to us. But it's time for some Am I the Asshole. First one is, as I click on it, and it's been a hot second, so everything has to refresh. Am I the asshole for asking my roommate to be more polite toward my guest? Am I the asshole for waking my girlfriend up with my morning routine? Am I the asshole for not waiting for my girlfriend to take a picture of the food table? That made me chuckle. Am I the asshole for upsetting customers by speaking Spanish? So, like I said, I have a few of these. This one, is this one you sent this box? Am I the asshole for asking my roommate to be more polite toward my guest?
Maybe.
Let me dip over to
I thought I sent something about asking my girlfriend to have a poop schedule or something.
Let me dip over to the messages here in Twitter, and I will scroll.
It was like a week ago, wasn't it? Like a week ago. Yeah, right here. Am I the asshole for asking my wife to poop earlier in the day so we can enjoy our evenings together uninterrupted?
There we go. All right. And again, like I said, people kept the receipts on this one, so this is definitely one we're going to read. Am I the asshole for asking my wife to poop earlier in the day so we can enjoy our evenings together uninterrupted? Yes, you're an asshole. I'm just going to come on and tell you that shit right now, bruh. Don't ask anybody to poop on anything. Anyway, I work a job that keeps me away from home for long hours. My wife is currently not working and stays home. I love spending time with her in the evenings, but often we will be watching, playing something, and she will have to leave to go to the bathroom for 30 plus minutes. As you can imagine, this can be quite annoying. I can't imagine. I truly can't. I don't even understand this nigga.
I think he just wanted to eat her ass. And
I can understand that you can't always control when nature calls, but it's sometimes every single night of the week. Like last night, we had 10 minutes left in our movie, and she told me to pause it and didn't come back for 40 minutes. I was pretty annoyed. So when she came back, I asked her if she could try pooping earlier in the day so we could spend more time together in the week. She started laughing and asked me if I was serious. I told her that I was, and she told me she can't control when she has to go. Now, I don't know if that's really true, as I have pooped every morning when I wake up for as long as I can remember. It's not like I've never have to poop at other times, but that's not the norm. I know everyone is different, but it's kind of frustrating to me that she won't even try. I asked some guy in the office today, and all of them said I was an asshole for asking this, but I really don't think I am. It's not like I'm asking her to do something I wouldn't do for her, or something that's unreasonable. If she tried and wasn't able to, I'd be okay with that. I like to think I'm a pretty reasonable guy. I don't need dinner to be ready when I get home. I don't care if there are dishes in the sink. I don't care about any of that. I just want to spend as much time with my wife as possible. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
The thing about it that confuses me is, like, I've never really known women to spend 30 to 40 minutes pooping. Doing all kinds of stuff, like makeup, all that, like, sure, but, like, just pooping? I didn't know that they were, like, big on internet browsing while pooping.
That's what's happening. She's taking her phone with her and is kicking it.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've all been there. Like, my legs have gone to sleep in the office plenty of times for that. Sometimes I didn't even have to poop. I didn't want to work for a while, so I would pretend, and I'd go to the bathroom and play on Instagram or Twitter or something.
So this is actually, Box got this from the Am I the Asshole Twitter feed, which basically directs to Am I the Asshole on Reddit. But what's dope about this is people will read through it and be like, oh shit, check these comments out. And this person, Jen, at such _ hockey _ 2 underscores, one in the middle, one at the end, was like, it seems like she might be either pregnant or recently gave birth. So let's click on these comments that makes her think that. You're the asshole. No, people can't schedule their shits, and they cannot just try to poop when they don't have to go yet. Even if they were successful, which they likely wouldn't be, the straining required to force a shit out before it's time would not be healthy, is what the comment says.
That's accurate.
You are correct. It isn't healthy to force yourself to shit. You can get hemorrhoids and anal fissures that way. And so this is the OG poster. She already has those from our son. I'm not trying to force her to do anything. I just asked because of my limited time at home during the week. And someone responds, well, that's an important detail. How didn't you think to include it? She has a medical condition. Of course she can't control when she shits. If I had anal fissures and my partner brought up the time I go to the bathroom, I'd be mortified and livid at the same time. I admire her resilience. If it were me, you'd be sleeping on the porch that night. The porch, my leg. Not the couch, the porch. Word life. Let's slide over. Because again, this person took the 4 screenshots. Why does your wife taking a long poop preclude you from spending time with her? Go hang out with her. May have to pause your movie, but you can at least go have a nice chat. Fair enough.
That's true.
And again, he responds, because this dude is, I guess, a glutton for punishment. She would not enjoy that, and neither would I. Not knocking you if you're into that, but it's really not for us. We've been together 10 years, and there are just some things better kept private. And somebody responds, there are some things better kept private? Apparently not your wife's bowel movement schedule. and he responds, I meant more along the lines of sight, sound, and smell. And somebody responds, wow, you think that changes anything? And because he responds back, you don't think there's a difference between talking about something and actually witnessing something? Holy cow. Let's see.
There's part of me though that does wonder if 10 minutes left in the movie, she couldn't hold on for a few more minutes. Cause
well, like I said, if indeed she has recently given birth and is having some,
shit may be too loosey goosey.
Well, it just might be something like her body has not quite gotten back into fighting shape, and so you gotta go when you gotta go.
I mean, that is true. Was it last week? I had to dip out of here for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And trust me, I had to go for a little while before that, but I reached the point of no return. I had to go. That's why I missed the beginning of last week's I Am I the Asshole. I came back in the middle of one. I didn't know what was going on. It's I stayed silent because I had no way of knowing if they were the asshole or not.
Oh my God! This guy, once again, the OP was like, to put in perspective, I am gone from 7 a.m. to 6 through 8 p.m. every single day. That's a lot of hours to poop, no?
This whole request just seems absolutely fucking ridiculous. I would hope that it's a joke, but the dude seems just super selfish.
Again, he's in these comments too. If nothing else, you're the asshole for discussing your wife's bathroom habits with people you work with. He responds, she doesn't care. She thinks it's funny that they called me an asshole because she agrees. Oh my God. Yeah, that I said, when Box said that to us, I was like, bruh, this is the shit. I cannot wait to read this because how funny was the shit. Because I was like, not only was it a good Emma the Asshole, that's a perfect Emma the Asshole for us, but they went ahead and pulled the goddamn comments for us. That was no work. I just read you a bunch right there.
That's why I like that feed. They're usually pretty good, and there's a lot of meat on the bone.
Man, that dude is an asshole, and I am not suggesting this man hangs out with his woman while she takes a shit. I don't care. If you want to come kick with me while I'm in the bathroom, sure thing. I'm not tripping off of it. You might be tripping off of it, but I'm not going to trip off of it. But that's not my relationship right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a bathroom kicking it kind of vibe kind of guy, but I'm also not hating on my partner for having to go to the restroom and I have to pause the show for any amount of time. I don't care.
Someone tweeted a reply and goes, he explains how he can't control the timing of his bowel movements, and then he expects her to control the timing of hers. And then they sent a GIF of Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, and it says, "literal pile of shit."
So, yeah, guy, you're definitely the asshole. Oh my God!
If I were with someone this suffocating, I too would schedule half-hour-long poops for a break.
Bruh,
yeah,
I'm telling you, man, she going to hop on the phone and is just kicking it, man. So I just chuckle at it. This one, like I said, only reason I put so this is one of the ones I pulled because, like I said, it had a selection of comments already cocked up and loaded. At least I thought it did, but now I can't find them. So whatever, we'll dig into it right quick. Am I the ass? Man, I don't like this, and this is long as shit for no reason. Because it's a very long. Am I the asshole? And I'm like, bruh, I don't. I'll just read you the title on that one. Am I the asshole for asking my roommate to be more polite toward my guest? And Reddit has decided this person is the asshole. So I'm not gonna really fuck with that. I thought I'd pull the comments on it, but I guess I just pulled the screenshots. Am I the asshole for waking my girlfriend up with my morning routine? Again, people really be writing goddamn spiels. But what makes this one good is they were like, hold on, I got some comments that he made. So hold on, where's it at? So am I the asshole for waking my girlfriend up with my morning routine? Okay, but people are of course discussing that. But then somebody comes in and it's like, oh, that same lady, such hockey wow. So, I didn't give her wow. So such _ wow really be in these Reddit am I the asshole streets out here with the commentary. Apparently this guy also posted another am I the asshole for not planning anything for his girlfriend's birthday. So he constantly fucking up. And his girlfriend must be a saint for putting up with his bullshit for at least 2 am I the assholes. But again, he wrote too much, and I don't give a fuck about him like that. And also, Reddit once again decided that, yes, he is the asshole. It's because people be writing whole books because they think they got something to say, but the reality of it is you're just an asshole. So, that's just what it be sometime, man. Am I the asshole for upsetting customers by speaking Spanish? This one thus far has about 50 comments on it, but there has been no decision made about the asshole or not situation. This is a fairly short incident, but I got written up. I work at a gas station. Earlier today, a pair of guys came in speaking Spanish. Just your usual, hey man, grab me a Pepsi, etc. Then approached the counter. I am the whitest woman you will ever meet, and it's obvious even with a mask on. In Spanish, as they were coming down the aisle toward me, one of them said to the other to check out my chest. The other replied that I could sit on his face anytime. I was grateful for the mask to disguise my expression. Then, when being rung up, they switched to English and were all like, good evening, ma'am. How are you doing tonight? That's a beautiful shirt you have on, ma'am, etc. I didn't really know what to say. So I was a bit flustered, but I muttered under my breath as they left to have a nice day in Spanish. I don't have any Spanish background. I just like languages and study them for fun, so I didn't expect that, 1, they would hear me, or 2, they would understand me on account of I have an awful accent. But they did, and they went off. With the speed and angry tone they were speaking with, I couldn't quite get all they were saying. My listening comprehension isn't so good, but I think I caught enough to know that they were complaining about me mocking them, and I should have said I understood them and not made them look stupid. They complained to my manager. I got written up after explaining the incident. I was told I'm not supposed to speak other languages at work because I didn't indicate on my application that I could, and that they couldn't make sure I was being compliant with policy since none of the management speaks Spanish. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know what gas station she work at, but damn, man.
Yeah. She has enough of an understanding of Spanish to understand them people saying what they said, and enough of an understanding of Spanish to respond buenos noches, nice I guess. Day. Yeah, you know. and not the asshole in my opinion. Her boss is an asshole. Those dudes were assholes. And the fact that you didn't indicate on your application that you can speak Spanish, well, she can't speak Spanish. She just has a rudimentary understanding of it. Probably an elementary, or a toddler's understanding of Spanish.
Everybody know the cuss words, man.
Yeah, like I had 3 years of high school Spanish, but I don't claim to speak Spanish. But like sometimes I can like pick up some shit. Like I know I sometimes like depending on the conversation, I can pick up enough key words to kind of piece it together and have a general understanding of what's being said. Yeah. But if you expect me to go have a back and forth dialogue where I'm firing on all cylinders, like that's not going to happen.
Correct.
Everybody know how to say ass in Spanish.
This comment is your management is massively out of line, and I would go above their head and push back with HR in your shoes. The implication that the ability to speak another language is some kind of problem that should have been disclosed is highly disturbing.
This must be a Texas story.
And as for being written up for being sexually harassed by customers, if you're in a position to do so, you have every right to make a massive stink about this the way you're being treated here. Edit. And oh yeah, not the asshole. Let's see. Hold on.
Mamacita.
Muy bien, titas. I don't know if that's how you say titties in Spanish.
Está muy bien. Muy bonita.
¿Cómo está usted? Muy bien, y tú?
The first I'm trying to see if there's any. Well, the person who actually posted this is seemingly regularly in the "Am I the Asshole" streets. So I can't seem to find anything that gives away where they might be. You know,
she got some pictures.
No, I don't think that's how Reddit works. Do they do that? Can I click on this and find any pictures?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not that versed with it.
Yeah, I follow. I can drop down this menu and tell you that I follow on Reddit. Didn't know I wanted that. Doughboys, Giant Bomb, Hip Hop Vinyl, kind of funny. Marvel Studios, which I only followed recently because of WandaVision. Turntable, which is literally a Reddit about turntables. Vinyl, which is about records. Vinyl Collectors, which is just that. Vinyl Deals, which is just that. Vinyl Me Please, which is just that. And Vinyl Releases. Basically, I got on Reddit for records.
Follow that Vinyl Deals.
Vinyl Deals is the lick. It really, and Vinyl Release is actually a good one too, because it like when shit be popping that you may not have known, like Alchemist had a drop the other day that I was like, ooh, and so I came on that shit. So those are some good follows. Yeah, this poor person is definitely not the asshole. Her boss is the asshole, and they wilding out here. The other one, am I the asshole for taking a picture for it, not waiting for my girlfriend to take a picture of the food. Girlfriend and I went to romantic brunch, super Instagrammable place. Basically, he started eating before his girlfriend had a chance to take pictures. And depending on how long they've been in a relationship, if he's aware that she likes to take pictures of the food and shit, is how I would decide if he's an asshole or not. You know what I'm saying? If that's her vibe, that's her hobby, she enjoys taking pictures of the food and stuff like that, and he knows that, and he was just like, I don't even give a fuck, I'm about to eat this shit and drink this mimosa, then he's an asshole. If not, and it's just, an innocent whatever, he just started eating because he was hungry, then I give him a pass. But I'm not going to read all that and dig into his assholishness. But that was a show, people. And how it will sound, I don't know. Again, we tried some new shit this week, and hopefully it works out for us. Will it? I cannot call it, people. I cannot. Fingers crossed everything works out, and I can give you some product that sounds good. And if not, such is life. I'll tell you either way. But housekeeping, as always, please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. I mean, it's that easy, people. I need you to get out there and subscribe to the show where you can. Follow our YouTube channel. Go like our videos. Been getting some. It's not like I truly think somebody just turned on our YouTube videos and sat and listened to the entire show, because we don't have any video, there's no visuals popping on our whatever. But we get numbers, and we've been getting some numbers from YouTube lately, and that's kind of cool. And so I like that, and we can get more if you went out there and followed the show's page and subscribe to it. Maybe consider hitting the bell, because interaction matters. And so that's what's up out there, people. We got a Twitch channel we stream onto from time to time, and maybe we can figure out a way to get the guys to stream to Twitch, so and they can get down with pushing some content out there too. We seem to be games have seemed to become an integral part of the show over the last few weeks, and so maybe that's something we talk about or do something with more as time goes on. 2021, man, we've been almost at this for like almost 8 years now. That is a wild one, people. If you want to support the show financially and have a few bucks to toss our way, you can join us over on our Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. As Box explained to you earlier in the show, Patreon kind of has its own little whatever going on, but it works. And trust me, we let Patreon dough stack for lengths of time, and oftentimes we pay for the hosting for the website for the year, or we order needed supplies to help keep the show going, and the Zoom's going. And like I said, not even Zoom anymore, because like I said, we're going to use this new service, and it costs money. It costs money to use this service, and that's just real. So you want to help us out in that way? The best way to do that would be to go support us over on Patreon, and or to go cop our merch over at tpublic.com/user/StageCrunchyMilk, all one word, where we get a couple of bucks back if you buy a shirt. So, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of hype. You know what I'm saying? You cop a shirt, they'll give us about $2. So if you're wondering how much I'm making, not a lot, but it does happen. You cop a shirt, they'll throw us back $2, and that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's decent merch. I'm rocking my gray Stage Crunchy Milk hoodie. It's very instant, and it's very nice. It's very soft on the inside. It's a very nice hoodie. So that's what's up out here, man. And feel free to give us a call at 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8POD. We'd certainly love to hear from you. That's Tatum 216.
Yeah?
He loves that axe coming back to him. I forgot what that axe's name is. What's that axe called?
Dolomite.
Fair enough. Way down in the jungle deep.
The hamburger pimp.
2099.
I can't believe I stayed here for this whole thing.
You made it through, man. He was just talking about...
honestly, I haven't seen you the whole time, so it could be a doppelganger or something like that.
My man doing a silhouette challenge all this whole episode.
Yeah.
No, I just printed one of those images off that website. Like, I'm a fake person right now.
Oh, my God. Our missing man is the real ODP. Send him some love. Keep him from fighting people on Twitter. At this point...
I did get a kick out of him telling us that like he couldn't make it on the show because they had to pack and get ready for the trip or whatever. But then like an hour before like the show, I saw him all over Twitter fighting with people and doing jokes and shit. Like, are you on Twitter or are you packing, my man? Which one is it?
Well, he was taking a half an hour poop.
I am the Internet Table 713. You've just been podcast to, and I know you loved it.
Now what do we do?
We'll catch you next time. Peace.